Destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro V. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
In New Mexico.
For 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
Game day in the Burque. Home court held yesterday in Mountain West. Lobo fans hoping that holds again today. A big one between two teams that are trying to get a bye in the conference tournament, trying to get into the Mountain West tournament. Lobos host Colorado State tonight at the Pit. It's also a big day for a lot of college football fans around the country. Yeah, yesterday really was, as the reality of this new expanded 12-team college football playoff, while it was approved to go to 12, the format has now been approved, and you're getting an idea of what it looks like. Good morning to you, and Merry Wednesday as you go through many of you a shortened week. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck in D.C. How you living?
What it do? Good morning.
Where are you today? You in beautiful Boise, Idaho?
We are in Boise, Idaho this morning.
Did you go to the game last night? Did you go watch Boise State men play San Jose State?
Did not. I kind of forgot about it until I was watching it on TV.
It was right down the street at Extra Mile Arena. Interesting night in the Mountain West last night. Two teams really, and it's kind of that time of year where you see teams that are better than team. Right at the top of the conference when they play the bottom of the conference at home, they really show the difference. Nevada beat up on Wyoming last night, 76-58 up in Reno. Boise State handled San Jose State 82-50 in Idaho. And a big one for first place up in Logan. I don't know how much of this you saw. Utah State was able to hold off the Aztecs and beat San Diego State 68-63 in a battle of heavyweights in this league last night. And so I think Lobo fans are saying, all right, it's time for a home team to continue to hold serve. That San Diego State, Utah State game was a battle last night.
Oh, yeah, it was. And just, watching Utah State, it's one of the best stories in college basketball.
No
Danny Sprinkle and the guys on CBS Sports Network were talking about it last night, too, that this is a contender for National Coach of the Year, not just Mountain West Coach of the Year, everything. They returned 0 points from last year's team.
There were three teams in America that returned 0 points, right? It was them, New Mexico State, and like Northwestern State or something.
Yeah, and who they are in first place in what has been a fantastic conference this season. And it's what you have to do right now is you have to win these games at home. Utah State did that. They were able to get themselves a lead, hold off a late surge from San Diego State, and their unbelievable run continues. And if you're, as you mentioned, your team like New Mexico, you're taking a step back going, all right, we've lost 2 games at home in a row. Got a really good Colorado State team coming in that you have to get a regular season split with.
Well, you've got to win tonight because you're ending the season up in Logan. And boy, that's a tough place to win. Nevada's won up there, but nobody else has won at Utah State this year. San Diego State went down yesterday. So it's Utah State at the top of the league, then Boise State, and then San Diego State. And then whoever wins tonight can tie with San Diego State for that 4th spot right now and make some noise. And, like Richard Pitino was talking about yesterday, he's not sure where they're going to be. You don't know if you've got a bye yet. I mean, as good as this season has been, you still don't know if it's 3 games or 4 games in Vegas. You don't know if you're playing on Wednesday or if you're playing on Thursday. And today's going to go a long, long way in determining that, although there's still a lot of work to do. I still do believe you're going to have to – I mean, I think the Lobos to get that bye – JJ, you tell me if you think I'm wrong. I think they've got to hold serve at home, and I think they've got to split. I think they've got to steal one either in Boise or in Logan, don't you?
I agree. I think it's not just a conversation about, at large bid. It's about where you're going to finish in Mountain West play. Absolutely. And this team, I think we've always said that this, final run, when we were looking at the last couple of games going back to, around after UNLV was, can you win 2 of the 4 road games? Can you go 2-2 in those games? Quad 1 wins on the road. Put yourself not in just position for an at-large tournament bid, but to be a team in the Mountain West that is still going to stay in the race. And in terms of just looking at it from a standpoint of conference standings, trying to chase the Mountain West regular season title, that is must-win territory for the Lobos tonight. Just in that regard, with how good Utah State has been, and it's the edge of a kind of got to win must-win game right now for New Mexico at this point in the season.
5 games left on the regular season schedule for the Lobo men's basketball team. Tonight at home in the Pit, 8:00 start over at News Radio KKOB, 7:30 pregame. Robert Portnoy, Hunter Green will crack the microphone from Albertson's Radio Row, and it's Colorado State who is in. They are tied, same record, same overall record, same conference record, and it's going to go a long way. And the team who does not win tonight is going to have an uphill battle now, and clawing to get into that bye spot, into that top 5. After tonight, they get Air Force at home over the weekend. You figure they handle Air Force. And then they go on the road next week to Boise State. When's the 2nd? Is it next Saturday? So they're off the middle of next week, I think. And then they go up to Boise, which is going to be tough. Come home, play their final home game against Fresno State, and then finish it up in Logan, where it's just going to be battle. JJ, it almost feels like they gotta win in Boise.
Yeah, with how good Utah State has been at home this season, and this is just a fantastic race. Looking at all these teams down the stretch, how good they've been at home, trying to steal those games on the road, and looking down and you see the Lobos line is about 7.5 for them at home, and man, it seems like a big number to me, even with Colorado State coming in, but Lobos have to find a way to get back at home.
All right, here's what's at stake tonight. Utah State is, after winning yesterday 10-4, they're at the top of the league, half game better than Boise State, who's 9-4. Then San Diego State at 9-5, 1 game back. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. Nevada won last night to get to 8-5. That's where the Lobos and Colorado State are. UNLV's at 7-5. UNLV plays at Air Force tonight. You got to believe UNLV is going to beat Air Force tonight. Even though Air Force beat them, that's Air Force's only league win. So assuming Air Force wins tonight, they go to 8-5. Okay, whoever loses tonight, Colorado State or New Mexico, falls to 7th. JJ, because the winner will go to 9-5 and tie for 3rd place with San Diego State. The loser will fall to 8-6 and behind UNLV and in 7th place. I mean, that's the difference between 3rd and 7th tonight. And with 4 games left and the first 4 or the first 5 getting the bye, that's what's on the line tonight. This is I don't know. I almost argue if you planning on winning the league, it's more than a kind of got to win game. It's a must-win game. If you want a bye in that first round of the tournament, it's almost more than a kind of got to win game too.
I think it is at this point in the season, with how good this conference is, with the expectations that the Lobos have for themselves, is what this fan base wants to see, and the fact you've lost 2 in a row. I'm willing to say that about tonight's game. It's a must-win game at this point in the season for the Lobos, because it's not just Mountain West standings trying to have that, keep that door open for if someone can run down Utah State, but your NCAA tournament hopes. You don't want to have 3 straight home losses on your resume because then it takes luster off that win at Nevada.
Yeah, they've lost 2 in a row at home. All right, we're open for business today. 505-246-0610. 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. On the Twitter or the X, it's _JJ Buck, and on the Facebook, it's the OD in the AM. You can watch the show there every day. It's on Comcast Channel 26. It's on our Facebook page. Adrian's producing for you there. The ProView Network's YouTube channel has that as well. JJ, I want to get into a bunch of stuff, and we'll do this in the next segment on the CFP, but I just want to go around the college basketball last night. A stunner in Omaha. I think it is. The Creighton beat UConn because we've been talking about UConn being the best team, and I think they still are. But they got run out of the build. 85-66. Creighton beats UConn in a Big East game. And I always, it's conferences amaze me. That Connecticut is in the same league as a team from Omaha, Nebraska. But I mean, that's what the Big East is. I don't know how much you switched over and watched some of that. Creighton looked phenomenal yesterday. They beat the tar out of UConn, and UConn was starting to look a little unbeatable, and they were brought right back down to earth.
Yeah, snaps a 14-game winning streak for UConn, which ties their previous record and St. John's record for longest winning streak in Big East history. And yeah, you had one of those games. Like, Creighton could not miss from three. They were unbelievable. And you look at some of these leagues, and you know what UConn was able to do. As you mentioned, you start to get the feeling: are they the favorites? I think they are still one of the favorites. Come March Madness, they're locked into a 1 seed in the tournament. But that Creighton team, that's a fantastic basketball team. And then you look back and go, Colorado State and UNLV have wins over that team.
That's right. Yeah.
And it just adds to what we've seen this season.
The team that just beat the stuffing out of UConn, the defending champs and the number 1 team in the country. So that was something yesterday. All right. And again, Boise State 82-50 over San Jose State. Nevada beat Wyoming last night 76-50. And Utah State in Mountain West, to the top of the league, beat San Diego State 68-63. Great Osborne was terrific for the Aggies yesterday. When we return, JJ, the CFP model is set. Is it perfect? Is it good? Is it better? Is it not good? We got a lot of thoughts on the college football playoff, what it's going to look like. You're going to be hearing 5+7 a lot. What does 5+7 mean? Well, yeah, Jeff, it's 12. I got it. But what does it mean when it comes to college football? Is it fair? Is it equitable? And is it inclusive? We'll get into that coming up after the break. Look around your vehicle. It looks, mine's ready too. I know it's dusty, it's dirty, it's winter, right? You just went through winter. You got junk all over it. It's muddy on the outside. My suggestion to you is On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Give them a call, and they will come out to you, take care of all that. They will detail your vehicle. When they're done, it'll look new. It'll smell new. It'll feel new. And they do it at your convenience, where and when it works for you. That means they come to the office. So you're busy. Jeff, I don't have time. I know. But you're in the office. So they come out to you. They're outside. You get a text. You go outside. And people are staring at it. They're like, wow, how can I get that? Well, I'll tell you. You go online to otsdetailing.com. They are best of the city for 2023. They were awarded that. Why? Because they're the best, they're the most reliable, and they're most efficient at what they do. Book online, buy online, all the details are right there. Stoke yourself. It's one of your biggest investments. Take care of it. It's On the Spot Automotive Detailing, and it's all at otsdetailing.com. otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Meyer here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
It was floated, and then the dissolution or dissolving of the Pac-12 occurred, and the college football playoff went to 5+7. So what does this mean? The college football playoff will be the highest ranked 5 conference champions. That means teams who win their conference championship game, the highest 5 ranked. That could be the SEC and the ACC and the Big 10, the Big 12, and the Mountain West. It could be the SEC, the Big 12, and the Big 12 and the Mountain West. This Conference USA, wrong, top 5. And basically the way it is you figure the Power 4 champs will get in and room for one group of 5 league. And then the next 7 ranked at larges. The top 4 will get a bye. 5 will play 12. 6 will play 11. 7 will play 5, 6, 7 will play 10. 8 will play 9. On campus sites, it'll be on Friday, the 20th of December, and 3 games on Saturday, the 21st. Notre Dame, this is the one flaw, and I'll tell you why I'm not all that hurt about it. Notre Dame cannot be a conference champion because they're not in a conference. Hence, they cannot be a top 4 team. Meaning, if they get in, they will not get a bye. And I'll tell you why that's not that as egregious as people think. But I just want your thoughts on it. Here's our format. Here we are.
It's one where now that you see it official, you feel good about the future of the college football playoff, and you got to understand there's always going to be an advantage for the power conferences, regardless of the scenario, and what seems to be a disadvantage for the group of 5. And in this case, there are any guarantees for a group of 5 member. Is the wording of it, is what you talk about is conference champs, highest rated conference champs. They don't specify necessary conferences in there, but this is what everyone did want to see, and it's you work your way into that top 12. So if you're in those rankings when the college football playoff committee comes out outside of conference champs, you have your chance to play in the college football playoff. And I think this is a scenario just moving forward for the Mountain West and the other conferences is you just you don't want to push back too much because you still want to get yourself a piece of that pie, which is the money.
Well, you have a seat at the table if you earn it. Yeah. Mountain West, Conference USA, the American, and the Sun Belt and the MAC have a seat at the table. Your thoughts on it, DC, as you read it now that it's actually there's a form to it?
I like what I read. You do have a good point about Notre Dame. I kind of question that. If they're number one overall, they wouldn't have a bye. It seems kind of tough.
Let me back you out one place, though, and tell you why I don't think that's what was egregious. Okay? If they're number one overall, conference championship weekend, they're not playing. The teams that will get a bye will play that extra game conference championship weekend. So that means they'll play. It's almost the evener game, right? They're eliminated. Granted, they get eliminated, but they're going to play the same amount of games. Now, the argument is, yeah, but if they're number 5 and they're going to still play a really good team at number 12, and in conference championships, you might not play a good team on the other side. Most conferences are getting away, JJ, from the divisions, right? So most conferences are going to play your 2 best teams against each other. I think it evens out. The committee was saying you need to play a conference championship game to earn a bye. And Notre Dame does not play one. Why should they get an advantage? Why should they get an extra week off? Why should they have to play one less game than everybody else because they're because they're not in a conference? Does that make sense?
That does.
I see the argument, and initially it stood out to me. Whoa, dude, Notre Dame is 12-0, and they're going to be number 5. That kind of feels weird, but everybody else is playing that extra game, and they're not.
Is this the NCAA's way of trying to push them into a conference?
It might be. Yeah, no, it might be those people. I mean, think of who's making the decisions. It's the commissioners, and well, that's not right. This was the CFP. But it's people who are all affiliated with a conference. It could be, and certainly Notre Dame is in a league and everything else except for football. And
what league are they in? ACC?
They're in the ACC. Yeah, they play basketball in the ACC, right? So I don't know, James, does that hold water to you as far as the Notre Dame conversation? Because I've heard that a lot. And the other side of it is, look, man, everybody else has to play a conference championship game to get a bye. That means you have an advantage by playing one less game. It doesn't feel right, so we're taking that advantage a little bit away and softening that by, yeah, you're gonna have to play that first.
And it's one that Notre Dame had how long to change it? If they wanted to try to change the conversation, if they wanted to put themselves in a position to not be here, they could have, whether it was try to convince people in that room to vote differently when it comes to Notre Dame or to join a conference. And it's fine if you want to have your independence, you want to control your schedule, you want to be the independent team with the money that you don't have to split football wise with your television contracts and what you're doing, fine. But this is one of the things then that you're gonna have to deal with.
So they voted yesterday, and the Pac-12 was on board, and it's really the Pac-2. They voted for the 5+7 as opposed to 6+6 because they feel that they have a better opportunity. There is no conference championship in the Pac-2 or the 2-Pac, and so they figure, all right, 7 slots gives us a better chance than 6 slots to find our way. This is Washington State and Oregon State. I'm going to tell you, I think it's good. I look at it, and everybody's looking for flaws in it and poking flaws. And, I heard all kinds of stuff coming in. And I just don't think people understand it, the way it's going. I think it's good, JJ. I think it's what people want. I think it's better. There's some people that are upset that it includes the group of 5. I'm glad it does. I'm glad there's some inclusion. The elitism, the poo-pooing of the non-Power 4 gets tiresome to nauseating at times. But there is a separation. There is. Ohio State and Michigan and Alabama and Texas are different than the Mountain West and the Sun Belt and the AFC. And so I understand why it is, but there is a seat at the table. I'm good with it. I think I'm interested. I make my living in college football. I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out.
And until they tell you that you can't play with these teams anymore, until they officially say, you know what, we've been pretending for too long, we're just going to take our ball and go away. But until that happens, this is what you want to see, is just an opportunity. There's 7 at-large spots, and if a team is good enough, if a team is undefeated in Mountain West play, the schedule that they'll probably face having a couple of marquee wins on it, then you're most likely going to see them in the college football playoff.
Yeah, and people are pointing at Liberty. Well, see, Liberty, this is what's going to happen. Liberty was an outlier to me a little bit last year. Liberty did go 13-0 and undefeated, and they earned their way in. But I felt who got beat in the conference championship game that allowed Liberty in the American? It was Tulane, right? I think Tulane would have competed. In fact, the year prior, Tulane beat USC in the Cotton Bowl. We've seen Boise State win. We've seen Group of 5 representatives show themselves very prideful and win games in bowl games against power teams. Now, the argument always, remember the first time it happened, I remember when Utah was in the Mountain West, JJ, they beat Alabama in the Sugar Bowl, and the argument, well, Alabama didn't want to be there. Stop it. Now there's not going to be that, right? They're going to want to be there. There's no sneaking up on them, and we'll see. I think, if you get a good Group of 5 team, and I think there's been some Fresno State teams, some Boise State teams, certainly that Tulane team. There's been Cincinnati team that got into the playoff, right? We'll see. They'll probably get in as an 11 or 12, right? And then we'll see. But I'm glad that there's a seat at the table. And I'm not willing just to listen to the people tell me, well, see what happened. They're going to let them in, and Liberty got it. It had been Liberty this year, and they'd have gotten blown out by. Okay, and that was a 1-year sample. Liberty earned their way in. Liberty should have been there because nobody else stepped up. There wasn't a really, 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 really good team. Everybody else had 2 losses, right, in the Group of 5 last year.
Yeah, and this is a situation that you want to see how it plays out, the model over a couple of years, how the College Football Playoff Committee votes on it and what they start to look at the end of the season to set that 12-team playoff. And the reality of it, too, is, you might get blown out, but it's about holding on to that revenue distribution as long as you can and being a part of the College Football Playoff, being a Division I institution when it comes to football. And part of that is getting resources, and there is a lot of resources associated with what comes out of the College Football Playoff.
And it's an opportunity. It's flat out, it's an opportunity, JJ. These student athletes are going to get on the field and think they have a chance to win. And somebody's going to win. Whether it's Boise State or San Diego State or Fresno State or Tulane or New Mexico or Appalachian State, somebody's going to win a playoff. It may not happen in the first 2 years or whatever, but at some point there's going to be a Group of 5 team that's going to win and advance, and whether they're going to win a national championship. And I understand football is a lot different than basketball, but I look at, and this is where people lost their mind last year. You had a Final Four last year that did not have the SEC or the Big Ten or the Big 12 or the Pac-12, right? People lost their mind. You had the Big East, the Mountain West, the Conference USA, and the ACC last year. Miami, Connecticut, FAU, San Diego State. How can that be? Well, but they were the best teams. Well, they weren't the best team. Yeah, you set up a tournament to determine who the best teams are, and that's who got through. Well, it was a fluke, and people lost their mind. It's got to be Alabama. It's got to be Tennessee. It's got to be Michigan. And the system's somewhat set up for that in football. I understand the big difference, but I'm just glad there's a seat at the table. I think it's a start.
That's all you can do right now is give yourself that opportunity in this still uncertain future of what football is going to look like overall in the model of everything. But as long as those teams are still willing to allow you to compete at the very end, you take it.
Do you see, I know you're more of a pro guy than a college guy. So last year when the Final Four was Connecticut versus Miami, FAU versus San Diego State, did that bother you?
Not at all.
Were you good with it? Like, was it refreshing, or was it, wow, this is weird, or whatever? I don't care.
I find it refreshing when there's new teams, so I sort of like it. I actually have more interest in that.
Yeah, I do too. And I know that there's, people tell me all the time, I want the brand names. We've got callers and a certain gentleman who calls and emails this show. I only want the best of the best. Well, they were the best of the best. Last year, those were the teams. San Diego State beat Alabama and Creighton on the way in, right? FAU beat number 1 seed. Those were the best of the best.
Yeah, in a tournament format, you're absolutely right. The Final Four are the best. So you got exactly what you wanted in that scenario.
Well, but it wasn't brand names. See, people would rather see, and this is where JJ and I have this conversation all the time. I think, and look around here, people would rather see a brand name bad basketball team come into the pit. Like if you brought in JJ, if you brought in, who would you rather see, USC or FAU? Who do you think Lobo fans would rather Lobos play?
Probably get a lot of USC.
Right? But it's not arguable FAU is better in basketball than them right now, is it?
It's not.
And I think there's a lot of that mentality. They want the brand name. Well, the brand name's got to be better. Well, they weren't last. And I think that's why, maybe this gives it a chance. Maybe it does. Maybe we're going to see the same 12 teams all the time, or 11 teams plus one. But we have an opportunity. All right, 505-246-0610. 888-922-0610. Let Russ cook. Where will he cook? Got anything to do with steel pots? We'll talk about that next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, brah. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal.
JJ will have Lobo women up at Boise. They're at Boise State tonight. 6 o'clock pregame, 6:30 tip-off right here on the Sports Animal, and after that over on News Radio KKOB. 8 o'clock tip, 7:30 pregame, Lobo men against Colorado State. Big one for you guys up in Boise tonight, huh, boys?
Yeah, when you look at the Mountain West on the men's side, we're talking about the race for a top 5, and you have that same thing on the women's side. UNLV has it locked up. They're 12-1 in conference play. They've won 7 in a row since the Lobos beat them in Las Vegas. But you look at tied for second, it's the Lobos and Wyoming. And then right behind them, you have Boise State, Nevada, 8-5. San Diego State is 8-6. And this is a huge 2-game road trip for the Lobos in Boise tonight, and then Wyoming on Saturday.
So you got that, and look, down the stretch, they're all big games. And here we go. All right. Russell Wilson. You guys are, it's your, come on, man, that's your quarterback. Why do you,
quarterback.
That's your quarterback.
That's my teammate.
Will he be your quarterback? There's no way, right? I mean, I know the money is an issue. There's no way, right?
I think they find a way to split his contract with another team.
All right. DraftKings, the sportsbook there, has the Steelers as a minus 250 favorite to be Russell Wilson's team at the start of the season. There's reportedly internal division in Pittsburgh about whether Kenny Pickett or Mason Rudolph will be the starting quarterback in 2024, but none of the above probably is a better choice. The Steelers, after the Steelers, the odds are the Raiders, the next most likely team to add Wilson, followed by the Falcons. And the long shot is the Broncos at plus 750. So I'm the Steelers. Do I want Russell Wilson, or do I want to find a way to get Justin Fields? And you guys have been talking about 2 number ones. What I've been hearing a lot is the cost, the price is going to be like a second-round pick. Because he's in his 4th year, because in 2 years you got to pay him, because of all that, and because there's no guarantee. I mean, you've got a 3-year sample size, and it's but right. And so, I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. Second-round pick, get me Justin Fields. I don't know what it's going to cost. I mean, they may pay me to take Russell Wilson off their hands. But I want Russell Wilson or I want Justin Fields. It's easy for me. Where are you?
If you can get him for a second, you do it.
Don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
JJ?
The Steelers are not acquiring Justin Fields. They don't do stuff like that at quarterback. Like, Justin Fields would be the better option over Russell Wilson, over Ryan Tannehill. But Russell Wilson and Ryan Tannehill are Pittsburgh Steeler moves at quarterback, especially with Arthur Smith there as their offensive coordinator. What they're going to do is run the football, play action, pass, everything. Not do anything too fancy. That's Mike Tomlin's MO. It's Arthur Smith's MO. Like, yes, I would Justin Fields for a second-round pick. I'm taking the chance on that. And a lot of these places, because if he's good, I don't care that I have to pay a quarterback. You have to do that at some point in this league. You can't always reset the clock on quarterbacks and get a good young quarterback for 5 years. You have to pay for good quarterback play. But I do not see Pittsburgh making that move. It just does not feel like a Steelers move to me at all.
So why does Russell Wilson make sense? To anybody, for that matter. But why would you go out and do it? Like, with all due respect, if you're asking me, do I want next year, do I want Russell Wilson or Ryan Tannehill to be my quarterback? Or Mason Rudolph or Kenny Pickett? I'm like, where's the bridge? But I think I want Ryan Tannehill.
With Russell Wilson, it's the fact that the team that's getting him is you're not paying him this contract. That's why it feels so different.
I still need a good quarterback. And yes, finances matter. He's not good.
Yeah, he's a get-by guy.
How much is Ryan Tannehill going to cost me without all the drama?
25 to 30.
All right. Do you want Russell Wilson over Kenny Pickett or Ryan Tannehill?
You think Ryan Tannehill gets $30 million?
Just the way the market is, it's inflated. So when they're going up to 240,
Yeah, it's hard to pay him that much money. It's really hard to pay
Daniel
Ryan.
Jones 40. I mean,
Yeah,
some
you're-
things happen.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe that's a bargain at quarterback. But just take the money out of it. Who do you want at quarterback? Who's going to help you win games? Ryan Tannehill, Kenny Pickett, Russell Wilson. But Justin Fields is the answer, isn't it?
If those are your only choices, yeah, I'm taking Fields. But honestly, when I look at those fours, I'm trying to figure out if I can move up in the draft.
Okay.
Now, for them being a playoff team, it might be really expensive to move up high enough to make a difference, but I'm not thrilled about those four options.
All right, if you guys are telling me that Justin Fields isn't the guy, that's not what they do. Okay. So who do you want? You want Pickett, Russ, or Tannehill, or Mason Rudolph for that matter? Or you want to just sit here and freeze? Nice and warm in your hotel room, isn't it?
Not too bad.
You have temperature control.
Yeah, not messing with things or breaking it in any of these rooms. So this is one of those moments where if you're the Steelers, if you're looking at Ryan Tannehill and Russell Wilson, these are short deals. You're not paying these guys $25 to $30 million. You're looking at 2 years, get by, compete. Because right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are moving up to get Bo Nix or Michael Penix.
Right.
It doesn't do it for me. It really doesn't. And we saw what the Steelers did last year with the combination of Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph. And they're looking at, can they sustain, being consistent and competitive, and then trying to find where that next move is going to be. And we talk about this all the time, is you get starved for quarterbacks, but sometimes that move isn't there. So don't overextend yourself. Don't go pay an extra first-round pick just to get, maybe the fourth or fifth best guy in the quarterback class. If you feel that convicted, see if one of them falls. And that's why, a Ryan Tannehill, a Russell Wilson, you're looking at a literally 1 or 2 year stopgap in this. And if this is the case, I think you get Ryan Tannehill on the cheap, man. This is a dude on the back end of his career coming off being benched in Tennessee. He's not getting $30 million.
What is that, $10 million, $12 million?
Yeah, and then saying, all right, we're going with veteran guy, and can Kenny Pickett win this job for a year?
If you're telling me they're not taking Justin Fields, I agree with you. Okay? If you're saying they don't do Justin Fields, that's not what they do, fine. So my options are Russell Wilson, Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, Ryan Tannehill. If I find a way to get Ryan Tannehill for, $15 million per quarter, I agree with you. I think that's the answer. Now, why I wouldn't send a second over to the Bears if I can get Justin Fields and do that for 2 years. By the way, still on a rookie contract, so it's not breaking the bank, and then I can figure out if I have a quarterback in the future or not. They're drafted at 20. JJ, at 20, there's a real chance Michael Penix, Bo Nix, somebody drops. You think the top? You think 5 quarterbacks are going before 20?
No, and I'm not convinced that Michael Penix or Bo Nix are any better than Kenny Pickett right now.
Okay, I don't know that they are either. I just know what Kenny Pickett is. And he's not a long-term solution at quarterback in the NFL. You guys disagree with that? I like this Kenny Pickett story. I kind of like Kenny Pickett. I've watched him play, and Kenny Pickett's a backup quarterback in the NFL. I mean, how do you hit your franchise star to Kenny Pickett? Hell, they benched his ass for Mason Rudolph when he was healthy in the playoffs.
Yes, they did.
Oh, is Mason Rudolph my guy? The guy who was benched for 3 years before that?
Since you have 2 backup quarterbacks right now in Pittsburgh.
So if you're saying I'm not convinced, I'm not either. But with all due respect, if they grade out pretty well, Michael Penix shows up at number 20 or Bo Nix shows up at number 20, and my option is those 2 guys are starting over again with one of them, tell me how I'm worse off. I don't get it either, right?
Oh, and this is one where it's just, when we talk about quarterbacks, right, we always think that, well, the next rookie is going to be better. The next rookie class has to be better because we're going to get this guy for 5 years. I think when you're these teams like a Pittsburgh, and we're in an odd situation because I do think it is a good thing to not bottom out and to be consistent, to be a good franchise, to win games. And right now, it's your tough spot because the Steelers, you'll feel a lot like they've been better, but the Broncos are like, oh, we just need that quarterback. We're a quarterback away. But it's how do you find that piece? Do you invest again in a guy that's not a top level of the pick quarterback? We saw that with Kenny Pickett, and that just happened to be a year where there wasn't that guy in that draft, and they took Kenny Pickett 20th overall, and here we are. And that's why the names are not exciting that we're talking about. But if you're Pittsburgh, you're looking at
it's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Can it be?
Justin Fields is fascinating. I like Justin Fields. But so are we holding that all against the Chicago Bears? Or are we looking at Justin Fields and the fact that dude doesn't win games?
So, and this is where I have to yield to somebody in the front office, right? Somebody in the scouting department. My eyes, your eyes, we don't look at it the same way as a guy in the scouting department or a coach does, right? And so we can analyze all we want, and JJ, because that's really the question. Is it on Justin Fields or is it on the Bears? Did they misuse him? Did they not develop him? Or is he just not that damn good? And I'm going to tell you, my eyes tell me he's better than anything they got there. Okay? My eyes tell me, this is me. And again, I'm happy to be, well, not happy, but I'm willing to be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. My eyes tell me that he's better than what they got. My eyes tell me that I'll take him for 2 years. I think he's got more potential than maybe a Penix or a Bo Nix, who I like both of those guys a lot. And for a second-round pick, I got 2 years to figure it out. If I'm them, that's what I'm trying to do. I don't want any part of Russell Wilson. I don't want any part of the drama, who the person is in the locker room. I don't want any part of the player who's declined and has not produced. There's nothing about the Russell Wilson piece that says, yeah, bring him into my franchise. Tell me where I'm missing this.
But Justin Fields, I'm with you. If you're telling me, all right, who do you want for a year or two? You're just trying to give a chance. It's Justin Fields because there's upside there.
Feels like
there's a player that has rushed for 1,000 yards in the league, but we know he has to become a better passer. And I do think the first 2 years Chicago didn't really try to do anything around him offensively. And then this past year they finally did something. They're like, all right, let's go get DJ Moore. Let's see what they're looking like with Cole Kmet. And the dude was still 5-8. And I'm looking at a guy that has 10 wins in 3 years. But, can he get a spark in a new place? Absolutely. So second-round pick for Justin Fields, that's a top to me. But I look at, Ryan Tannehill and Russell Wilson. These are why people would like them. Because Russell Wilson would be better in Pittsburgh than he was in Denver. Russell Wilson, as they say, get by 1 or 2 years. You're not paying him the ginormous contract that Denver was giving him if he's cut and on the market. So that's why he's actually intriguing to some of these teams.
All right, 505-246-06. I know there's a lot of Steeler fans out there. Steeler fan, who do you want as quarterback? If I said Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, do you wait for a quarterback? The text line says 5 quarterbacks will definitely go in the top 20. I'd say top 15 will have 5 quarterbacks. All right, and it may be true. Then there's the Raiders. What do they do? And might they get Russell Wilson or ... It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Hour.
This report is sponsored by eBay.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Adventure is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Adventure is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Head coaches, offensive coordinators get their press conference. So this was last week. There was a lot of quarterback discussion and a lot of talk about quarterbacks not on the roster. Quote from Getsy, the offensive coordinator in Vegas, without even knowing him or talking to him about anything yet, I can tell you right now that guy has got to be someone that prepares his butt off and is a great teammate. I mean, for the guys to rally around him the way I saw from the outside looking in, and for him to go perform in the way that he did at the end of last season, it speaks volumes. So I'm excited to get to know him, excited to work with him for sure. End quote. Talking about Aiden O'Connell. who threw 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions in those starts. 8 touchdowns, no picks in the last 4 weeks. Raiders were 5-5 after they started 3-4. Aidan O'Connell or the field as the Vegas quarterback to start the season next year?
Sounding like Aidan O'Connell, especially because you look at Luke Getsy. He has the inside information. Who was Luke Getsy? He was the Bears' offensive coordinator last year before he got fired.
So it probably won't be Justin Fields?
Feel like a Justin Fields destination. Maybe Luke Getsy loves him. Maybe Luke Getsy feels he was handcuffed in Chicago, and this would be a better situation to work with. I do think that if it's a second-round pick, and I think it's maybe a second-round pick this year, or you could I'm probably get away with 1 first-round pick next year, in somehow acquiring Justin Fields. I think he is the top option for teams like Vegas sitting at 13. The Broncos should be interested in that conversation if Sean Payton believes he is a quarterback guru, which I want to see it. Show me what you can do with the quarterback. Drew Brees was a pretty good guy to have in your back pocket to become a quarterback guru with. And these teams that are outside the top 10, which it would take a lot to move up, because I think the top 3 are locked into the top 3 quarterbacks. Look at Chicago, Washington, and New England. And we're talking about Caleb Williams from USC, Drake May from UNC, Jaden Daniels from LSU, the Heisman Trophy winner. Like, those are the top 3 quarterbacks. And so I think you really are off the board with those guys in this conversation. So then you start evaluating, do we want veteran stopgap? And a lot of people throw up in their mouths when we say Ryan Tannehill and Russell Wilson. Do you want 2 years of Justin Fields to say, hey, we can turn him into the quarterback we believe he can be? Or are you looking at Michael Penix and Bo Nix? Like, these are the quarterback conversations for everyone 12 and down.
Is Jim Garoppolo in the veteran stopgap mix? Or is that rolled past him? He's got to miss 2 games. But, I mean, Jim Garoppolo was basically the guy that was their veteran stopgap in Vegas until he wasn't. Is he in that conversation? Is there anybody else in there?
I think that's hard to when you won't be playing for the first 2 games.
It's 2 games.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of crazy, right? Alvin Kamara missed 3, but what a season he had. But I know it's not your quarterback. All right. Aidan O'Connell or the field, DC? Who's going to start for the Raiders?
I'm going with the field.
I think I might too.
I think something's going to happen there. Aidan O'Connell would be a good backup, but I just don't see it.
All right, we'll do NFL Red Zone at 8:30. How about that? You in for that? 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. When we come back, not only did the College Football Playoff talk about the format, they got into transfer rules and, are you ready to expand the NCAA tournament? Because they may be. It's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610. The Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
or surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road.
For 5 years running, it's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bob.
Game day, Lobo men and women on the court tonight. Lobo women up in Boise, Idaho. It's 5 o'clock in Boise, Idaho. JJ's going to get his limo driver, Miss, to take him to the show. You got some plans for later on tonight, JJ? You better not. It's the opening
Basketball.
drive. Yeah, you got hoops. 6:30 is when you start, right? 6 o'clock pregame, is that right?
That is correct.
Lobos in Boise State. How's Boise State on the women's side?
They won 4 of their last 5 games. They are always a tough matchup for the Lobos. Boise State 11-2 at home. This season, they won the first matchup in the pit. So this team is, and UNM really focused on getting that split and staying in the top 2 race, because Wyoming is on deck on Saturday, and outside of UNLV, the Lobos and Wyoming are tied for second place.
Here's the key about being 2 instead of 2 or 3 is big. You just don't want to slip to 4, because that means you can stay away from UNLV until the finals.
That is correct,
and that would be a big deal. Lobo men go tonight. They're in the pit. Just 3 games left for the men in the pit this year. They play Colorado State tonight, a game which I told you earlier it is got huge magnitude. The winner will be tied for 3rd. The loser is in 7th. And the Lobos in Colorado State have the same league record, same overall record. Top 5 teams get a bye in the conference tournament, and there's 5 games left for the Lobos. This is a gigantic one. They've lost 2 in a row at home. And JJ, any chance of league championship and I don't want to say any chance at a bye, but if you want to buy, this is kind of, well, if you want a league championship, it's a must win. If you want a buy, it's a kind of got to win game. And maybe even more than kind of got to win.
It's that point in the season. There's 5 games left in the regular season. You're on the bubble for the NCAA tournament. You're seeing what Utah State was able to do, get a huge win to take a step forward atop the Mountain West Conference. You know that you have a game with Utah State at the very end of the year after beating them in the pit, and if you want that game to maybe even be for something crazy like a league title, you have to win this game. And it's with everything that you've seen. It's, losing the last two at home, and the Nevada win loses its luster if you can't win this game. Like, because then it's not like, hey, this is the road win we're hanging our hat on. That's
Right.
this is what is the survival game for us.
Offsetting 3 home losses. Yeah. Joe Lunardi of ESPN. So Jerry Palm's going to be with us tomorrow. We talked to Jerry from CBS Sports. He's their broadcastologist. We talk to him all the time. Just for another perspective, this was on the 17th, so this is 4 days ago. New Mexico's looking like a 9 or 10 seed. At 20-6, the Lobos won at Nevada, lost at home to Boise State and UNLV. Otherwise, the record for Richard Pitino's team fits into a common Mountain West pattern, taking care of business at home, trying to pick up road wins against league teams in bubble watch. Colorado State's coming to Albuquerque next, and a win there would give the Lobos more cushion within the safety of should be in. And if not, then we got another conversation. So it's a big one tonight. All right, you and I have had this conversation a lot about the NCAA tournament. I just, it's one of those things to me where it's so good. Why it's not broken? Why do we need to fix this? Now, there's an argument that they continue to add more teams to Division I. 18-point-something% of teams make the NCAA tournament. That's so disproportionate to other NCAA championships. You've got to add more teams. They're talking about adding anywhere from 4 to 16 teams. And so there was conversation yesterday, and the NCAA president is Charlie Baker. He thinks there's an opportunity to expand the NCAA basketball tournament if it's done with care, he said. So leaders of some of college sports' biggest and most powerful conferences have told ESPN and other outlets in the past week that they would like to press for changes that would allow for more of their teams, and not Mountain West Conference USA, MEAC, SWAC, none of those teams. More power teams because they don't have enough access to March Madness. Now, Charlie Baker said he doesn't support the idea of decreasing opportunities for schools from smaller leagues to make the tournament by eliminating any of the automatic bids. But basically, it's kind of like what they did with the NIT, JJ. They're, okay, let's expand it, but give more bids to the SEC and the Big 12, because Lord knows when you get 10 teams in, it's not enough.
Yeah, I am intrigued, but I want to hear what kind of ideas there are. Are they thinking about just adding, folding in a few more play-in games for the seed lines? Are they adding an entirely different weekend, like a round for everyone to play in? Because it's one thing to say, hey, yeah, let's expand it from 68 to 72 or 84, whatever it may be. Well, what lines are you thinking? Are you thinking just adding play-in games to seed lines, or an entire round?
So I've told you this before, and it was confirmed in my mind after last year's NCAA tournament. It is the best sporting event in our country. To me, it's better than Super Bowl because it lasts for 3 weeks. It encompasses all corners of the country. Gonzaga's in, and people in Spokane and Eastern Washington are fired up. And Florida Atlantic's in, and people in South Florida are fired up. And New Mexico gets in, and Wisconsin, Green Bay, and Kennesaw State, and Appalachian State, and UMBC, everybody's got a damn bracket. And the bracket currently fits on one sheet of paper, and it's nice, and it fits into 3 weekends, and it's, to me, it is as perfect of a sport. And look, I know it's got its flaws, and number 69 and 70 and 72 and 73 are going to scream, right? But it's clean, man. You win, you advance. Survive and advance. Everybody's got a bracket. Mary down in accounting and Lucille over in sales wins every year, and they care. Everybody cares, and it's not just because they want to see the halftime show or the commercials. You're smiling back there. I mean, tell me where I'm wrong, because I love another perspective on this, but to me it is the most perfect sporting. It's the best sporting event. Perfect's not the right word. The best sporting event we have in our country.
I have not filled out a bracket in probably 20 years.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. The NCAA tournament doesn't do it for me. So
all right.
I think the last game I watched was the 2008 championship.
Total other perspective. All right, I'm down. You're like one of the few people I know who don't.
I am that weirdo. I appreciate it for what it is, though. I really do. I like the tournament format, the way that a team that you may not know as much about is going to emerge as the Cinderella.
Princeton or Barley Dickinson.
I had a buddy who played for them. I actually really enjoyed just reading about that storyline. But yeah, I like what they do with that tournament. It's not really for me.
Okay, JJ, so you're listening.
Welcome to college basketball market, DC.
Yeah, I know. Here you are, right, immersed in college basketball. I know.
Oh, it's an interesting water to swim in.
Yeah. People love this, and I just think the whole country just gets around it, and I go back to, not everybody went to Alabama and Michigan and USC. A lot of people went to NAU, Kennesaw State, New Mexico State, UMBC, Wisconsin Green Bay, right? Schools that this is and they're alumni based. People just love this mess. I mean, I know you're not a big Kansas fan, but you're well aware how much they love it.
Oh,
JJ, yeah. My fear is it gets too big. I mean, I don't know. Is it too good to destroy? And that might be true. The event might be too good that no matter what they do, they're not gonna break.
Yeah, I think what would happen is we would see the quote-unquote power conference teams get seeded into the bracket, and then 14 through 16 they'd push down. Those would be all your small schools that would be forced to pretty much play into those games. But I think even for a one bid team, I actually love that opportunity. I know a lot of people say the first four, the 16 seed shouldn't have to be in the first four. They should be in that game against the 1 seed. We've seen it twice, and so it's not impossible that a 16 seed can win a game. But I also like the fact that those teams get a bit of a highlight on the first four before the tournament starts, and get an opportunity to play a competitive game and win it. So if there are any changes, I think that's what would happen, is we'd see a lot of those small conference one bid league teams be in playing situations, for 14, 15, 16, while the other teams would just slide into the bracket.
And I guess at that point you can make an argument they got a better chance to win a game. Right? I mean, you got a better chance. Texas A&M Commerce has a better chance to win a 16 versus 16 game than a 16 versus 1 game. Does it matter? I mean, I don't know. Or Incarnate Word, aren't those the two teams that had the brawl yesterday? Texas A&M Commerce and Incarnate Word. By the way,
that was out of control.
Holy smokes! There's your argument against the handshake line conversation we had 4 or 5 years ago. When did that start? When Alford called the kid from BYU, not Trevisani. What was the guy's name?
Tavinari, right?
Tavinari. I knew it was close to that. Alford called him an a-hole. Going through the absolutely happened. Lobos and BYU, they're going through the handshake line, and Alford called one of their players an a-hole. And yeah, they almost. That's when we started having. Do we really need the handshake line?
What made Steve Alford more of a legend is the wins at UNM or that moment.
Yeah. And I always go back to, I don't know, the thousands of handshake lines that go on without incident, or the 1 or 2 that have incident. Yeah. And we should stop doing something that, I don't know, goes pretty flawlessly 99% of the time, because 1% of the time we have an incident. As opposed to, I don't know, why don't you just control yourself and be an adult and shake hands and move on? But yeah, that absolutely happened. That absolutely happened. Ron wants to know expansion of the tournament, Jeff. How is this different from adding more bowls to where you need 6 and 6 and 5 and 7 clubs to fill? It's quite different because you're playing for a championship. Quite different. But Ron, it's the same email, different version. I appreciate you. It's quite different. And you don't like the bowl system anyway, where I think we all agree that the tournament's pretty damn good. So, should they expand it? Gives you a better chance to get in every year, doesn't it? You'd probably be in right now if it was 74 teams or whatever the number would be. You'd probably be right there. We're going to do Red Zone coming up at 8:30. Is that what I said this morning? JJ, we're going to do the State of the Union of the AFC West. That includes the Broncos and the Super Bowl champions. So we'll do that coming up here in a little bit. When we get back, the NCAA is also talking about transfer rules. How many times should a player be able to transfer without penalty? Or should they just be able to go as many times as they want? where the NCAA is and where you might be. Next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored.
This was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Schools. So there's all kinds of bills. Basically, there's a lot of talk. And here's where the transfer stuff comes into play, JJ. First of all, NCAA and everybody associated with it is scared to death of any lawsuit, period, because there's so many out there. But if a regular student can transfer, if your kid, my kid can transfer, the argument is then, well, the student athlete should be able to as well, whether you believe in that or not. And that's kind of where that's leaning. And I just think that's going to be, JJ, a big part of where we go forward.
Absolutely, it's a challenge, and we hear more and more coaches talk about it's year to year for everyone in athletics. I like the idea of a one-time free transfer, and then if you have to sit after that, because I then think that, say, you're a freshman, you go somewhere, maybe it doesn't work out, coach is fired, whatever, right? You transfer your sophomore season.
Yeah.
You play, maybe that's not the place for you, but after 2 years, you could be in a situation where you push yourself to graduate earlier, get your school done, and then become a graduate transfer. So just something where, all right, your second one can come around if you're able to do something else.
So our next guest might have a thought on that, although he's here for something totally different. Today is a big, big day for UNM Athletics. It's called Lobo Give Day. It's the 4th annual Lobo Give Day, and what they're asking you to do is you can donate to Lobo Athletics today, and it goes directly to where you want it to go, to the scholarship fund, to football, to basketball, to golf, whatever it is. The athletic director at the University of New Mexico, Eddie Nunez, is sitting in your chair while you're up in Boise, Idaho.
Yeah, somebody's got to do his job.
I mean, he's doing it. He's just not warming his chair.
I don't want to hear that. He's probably still laying in bed. I mean, we know how it works.
I see him.
Oh, he has a camera. Oh, okay.
He got up.
All right.
What's going on?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Life's grooving. This is a big, big day for you. And I think over the years, first of all, it started 4 years ago as a way, I think, for, well, you explain why it started and how it's grown.
Well, again, it started 4 years ago for us to continue to reach out to our donors at this time of year to try to do a little bit more for certain programs in certain areas that we hadn't been really focusing on. And what's happening over the last 4 years is it's continuing to grow. And last year we raised $340,000. We had 600 basically gifts. So this year we're trying to do more, and we're trying to set a standard that really sets us up for the future for our student athletes. So when you talk about Lobos Give Day, this is a day of 24 hours that's going to culminate tonight with the basketball game, of course. And you have events throughout the day from 8 to 10 today. At Frontier, every Golden Pride, you go there, whatever you purchase, 20% of all proceeds go back to Lobos. So it shows how unbelievable, first of all, the Renaissance are, and their commitment to Lobo athletics, to the university, to this community. And so we commend them, we thank them. But yes, it goes to you have 4 different pots you can give to Lobo, and we could talk about that. I mean,
somebody's out there thinking, okay, well, I'm intrigued.
Yep.
All right, I've thought about giving, but I want to give to this or that. So precisely or kind of concisely, the 4 different pots are what?
Yeah, so there's 4 different areas that you can give. First one is the Lobo Scholarship Fund. That goes back to academic-based needs for our student athletes. Again, they did a 3.4 this semester.
When you think about it,
I mean,
it's insane.
Crushed the general student body, another record-setting year. The Life program, which goes back to helping our student athletes after. So it's networking, career building, meeting with professionals. It is etiquette class. It's everything. We're trying to put these events together to help them learn and become better. Life skills. Those life skills that go right back to it. So we've had success over the last 2 years with the Life program. This is one to continue.
I like that a lot.
And then you have the Unmatched Excellence. That's our area, and that ties with our strategic plan that we just established this year. And we're focusing Unmatched Excellence really on the competitive excellence with the athletic side of it. So if you really want to do stuff that are going to help us really take our teams to the next level, that's the area we want you to focus on. Then you got the sports enhancement. So if you want to do something for tennis, for golf, for football, for basketball, for baseball, softball, whatever sport, the sport enhancement accounts, you give it goes right back.
So you can say, I want to put $1,000 in straight to golf.
Straight to golf.
And it goes to golf.
And it goes to golf. And again, every single dollar we get goes back to our student athletes. And that's what's most important. That's what we've shown for the last 4 years for all our fan bases. We're wanting to build trust. We wanted to do it the right way. And I think they've seen us take these funds and put them right back into what we said we were going to do. And it's really resonated. That's why we've had the success we've had.
I think one of the keys about this day, and this is specific to athletics, if you give today as opposed to joining the Lobo Club or the NIL, and I know there's a lot of places, and you this is the world you live in every day. People are saying, gosh, what do I do, man? I'm getting hit. Kurt wants me to go to 505 Ventures, and Lobo Club's hitting me for this. Now they got Lobo Give Day. Walk me through, what does this mean for the common person out there that wants to help athletics, but they're getting approached by a lot of different angles.
And that's the challenge that we're all facing. The one thing is the 505 Sports Ventures is working with us. Now, we can't be fully involved like the NCAA, but it's working with us from the standpoint of we want to let our fans know how important the NIL component is right now. But you're right. We are still asking. We still need operations. We still need our student athletes to have the ability to be able to be successful. So the giving to the Lobo Club is exactly like this. So this is the Lobo Club. These are just different opportunities that they have to really focus on specific areas. But if someone wants to do something for the NIL, by all means, do it.
Please.
We need it. We need it. But what we've always asked and will continue to ask is, hopefully, this is above and beyond, because the Lobo Club still needs you. We've 6 years counting, knock on wood. We have balanced the budget. We've grown it. We've built reserves that we've never had before. The reserves go back to helping our program. It's a testament to our fan base. It's a testament to the state. It's a testament to the university, all helping in areas that we're doing. But we still need this now more than ever.
He's Eddie Nunez, the UNM athletic director. He's in studio today. It is Lobo Give Day 2024. And I'm going to give you the information on how to get involved here in just a second. JJ?
Eddie, you talk about the other programs like the Life program, the Unmatched Excellence program that you guys are pushing forward. What kind of results or feedback do you get from that? Because, I've talked to a lot of student athletes that have interests and want to do things, but they just can't do that yet because of the student athlete schedule. So when you start, focusing on life skills or networking, what kind of feedback have you been seeing?
We've actually had good success, but we've tied it into to make it a little bit more enticing for our student athletes. Alston Money, which many of you are still getting to know what the Alston Money is, an academic-based opportunity that the NCAA has allowed us to do to give back to our student athletes. Every student athlete, to be able to obtain that, has to have a certain GPA, also has to participate in the Life program in several events. They have to do several other things. So we're trying to tie it in so it's not just giving money to student athletes. It's about, look, we want you to get better. So this program really has resonated. We have an etiquette dinner. Actually, I keep referring to that because on Monday night, this Monday coming up, we're going to have over almost 400 student athletes in basically a space. We're going with etiquette classes, learning about how to eat, what all the utensils.
Which class is mine? Which one?
Exactly.
The BD thing with your hands.
Exactly.
Right?
It's the simple things that sometimes we learn even late in life that we're wanting to teach them.
I
But
didn't
it's
learn that
networking.
until about 5 years ago. That's my bread, and that's
Can I sign up for that? By the way, I'll register.
I would love to have you. We're trying to get some people in the community. We're going to have some. We have actually some good business leaders that are going to be in there with us. We're going to have some faculty on campus. I want it to be an interactive opportunity for them to get to know our student athletes, but get them to also get to know how to communicate, how to network, the people skills that sometimes is missed. And honestly, our student athletes now are much better communicators than probably many of us were when we were at that age because of social media, because of interviews, because of their platforms. But this is a great way for them to learn all those other skills that are critical for them to really succeed in life.
The info is at golobos.com. And then there's a website, a dedicated website at lobogiveday. Go ahead.
Yeah, go to our regular website. It's the easiest way. Hit the link. If you go to any of our social media platforms, Twitter, X, whatever the heck it's called nowadays, Facebook, Instagram, any one of those, it has the link. Just hit it. It'll direct you right there to it. If not, call our athletic department. We've got a war room that we set up in the
war room.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Look at
I'll take a picture later when I get there. It's all decked out. We've got map because we're trying to color the map cherry again. Last year
trying to hit every state.
Last 3 years, I think last 2 years we've hit every state. We're trying to continue that. We want to hit every state again.
You got 16 right now.
We do. I hope it keeps growing, and we're going to try to get to that 350 number. But it's not all about how much money it is. It's more than anything else. It's building that fan base too. So we had 600 gifts last year. We want to get to 650 at least this year. So the more gifts, hopefully new people coming on board and doing it and making a difference.
How important is this thing? When you talk about fundraising, right? You got the gala before the football season, which I think might be your biggest one. I might be mistaken. But in terms of importance on this is a pretty big day for you guys, isn't it?
It's huge because again, it goes back to specific areas that we've targeted that our coaches feel are instrumental for them to be able to succeed. So this is our time to continue to hit our fan base in a positive way, helping them understand what we're trying to do, how we're doing it, letting them look. If you want to see an immediate impact, this is going to have an immediate impact. Now, there's other ways, again, and all those other factors are important. But for us today, the Lobo Club or Lobo Athletics, this is
directly
huge.
to the student athletes.
Yeah.
It's a big day. So it's Lobo Give Day. Go to golobos.com. It's all right there. You can call the office, which is 505-925-5500. 5500.
Or 5510. Anyway, you call my office. It's all online.
5500-5510.
Yeah, just go online and call us.
It's all right there. But think about it. Lastly, and I know you got to.
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh gosh, we were on a conversation about. It's a big subject. I'm asking you for a concise answer. Were you satisfied with the 5+7 at the college football playoff? And then the thoughts on the transfer, where they're going with unlimited transfers.
I'm content that a decision was made, because for a while there, I don't think they were all on the same page.
No, they weren't.
And so that some decisions made. I think there's still some logistics that are going to need to be tweaked. And you mentioned earlier about Notre Dame. That's a nuance that has to be understood how they fit.
Was I wrong with that?
No, I think there's a piece of the puzzle that still has to be identified.
It's imperfect.
It is. And there's a meeting today that's being had between the commissioners that are going to get more into the details. That's why people say, you like it. I think there's still going to be some tweaks that are going to happen. Yeah.
No, people
we're
ask me
moving in the
all
right
time.
direction.
We're on our way. And I think like anything else, look, when the BCS started, they tweaked.
Yep.
Then they moved it to, and they expanded it to the college football playoff. And I think the first year, there's going to be things none of us see right now.
Yeah.
That something's going to come up. The Notre Dame piece, if they're number one, yeah, but they didn't play in a championship game. They have an inherent advantage. They play one less game, so now they're going to make up that game.
Exactly.
Is it perfect? It is.
It is. And here's what we got to remember. The Mountain West right now is the strongest league, not just outside of the Power Four, but in the West. And so you add the two schools we're adding, I look at it as you have the SEC and the Big Ten, the ACC and the Big 12, and us. I know the American feels like they're in there too. They're good. But I think right now you're gonna see us distinguish ourselves like we have in basketball. I think you're gonna start seeing it more here in football.
What a basketball season.
And I'll tell you this: you asked about the whole transfer. It's a hard dilemma. I'm on the Division I Council. We talk about it all the time. It's a hard situation because having student athletes having limited, it's hard
because regular students can do. That's where it is, right? If you're limiting them from doing something a non-student athlete, a student can do, that's where you get litigious.
It does, and it's harder to deal with because right now nothing's probably going to be finalized until the discussion with those states, Virginia, and all those AGs that are now in the lawsuit. Until that's resolved, I don't think anything's going to be official when it comes to this. So we're going to be still navigating uncharted waters.
Let's get you in here because there's a lot of issues. It actually might be something to do before the basketball tournament.
Yeah, just give me a call.
Before the conference tournament. He's Eddie Nunez. Don't forget today. Think about it as the day goes on. It's Lobo Give Day. There's matches and challenges and all kinds of stuff. Go to golobos.com. Just click on it and you'll see all the stuff there, and your money goes where you want your money to go. Mandy's out there with her stopwatches going, let's go.
And I'll tell you, last but not least, go to Frontier, go to Golden Pride, make it simple, get yourself something to eat, and that goes back. Yeah.
Have you had the number 2 yet? The carne armada and cheese and egg burrito yet?
No, but
it
seems
not
like
had that yet.
I think it's just hours away.
Get a 2 and a 9.
Hey, JJ, get up and do some work, man, please.
I will. Your game tonight. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Join press.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated,
intoxicated. Rip. Plaster. Paint. Destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
And explain the reason I'm not giving on Big Stick Day is concerned about the schedule and how it's put together seemingly without caring about the fans. Okay.
It seems like you sent an angry email to CBS Sports and Fox.
Yeah, this is one of those things, man. It's really, really hard. The road games, and you get advantage on the road games. Now, the road games, if they started at, I know you hate them at 9 o'clock, but there's a good chance if they started at 7, they would be on TV because they're not going to clear out the Big East window for you. Right? They're just not. And by the way, on the Eastern time zone, those games that start at 7 that come before you, they start at 8 and 9 o'clock out there too. No fan base wins on this as far as home games, but you get the road games, right? Every conference game, if I'm not mistaken, JJ, there'll be 18 conference games, except for the Wyoming game was either on CBS Sports or Fox Sports.
That's correct.
The Wyoming game was on the Mountain West Network. I mean, every game has been as accessible as it's ever been. But yeah, I agree with Ron. It's fair. 8:30, 8, 9 o'clock. It's tough. I'm not arguing. It's a struggle of the night. It's school night. Addie, do you want to go? I don't know, Dad. I got a test tomorrow. Right? It's hard. 8:30. DC's in here. What time are you in? Like 5:30 in the morning? 6 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, usually I leave around in between 5 and 5:30.
Yeah, it's
9 o'clock's impossible for me. When I see those,
yeah, they're hard to go. Yeah. Jeff sent me a text. Well, by the way, I know we ran right through the red zone, which I promised you at 8:30. We'll do it at 9 with Eddie coming in and doing that. We moved that. Got a text from Jeff at JJ. It says, with 5 games left, the worst we can do, he's talking about the Lobos, is 3-2, and we're on the bubble and must finish first to third in the Mountain West Conference tournament. If we go 4-1, we're in the NCAA. Anything less than 3-2, we better be in the Mountain West Conference tournament championship game or we're out. I don't think the Mountain West Conference gets in more than 5 into the NCAA. And I don't think they should expand the NCAA tournament. I agree March Madness and bracket polls are great, but it's very male-dominant. Other events bring in more rounded audience. 1 year free transfer. If your coach leaves, you should be able to transfer too. I had 4 head coaches in my 5 years. I think I just covered all your topics. I think 5 is going to be the number on the Mountain West. I think somebody's going to play themselves out. UNLV is going to beat someone and probably knock them out in the tournament. In the Mountain West.
I'm confident in 5, and it's really like teams like New Mexico handling your business net at home. You can't afford to drop this game because to me, I'm more worried about bubble and at-large resume than Mountain West regular season title at this point. If I'm New Mexico, is that still on the table? Yeah, but I'm just looking at solidifying myself the best way possible, and then going into the Mountain West tournament in Las Vegas saying, hey, could we go on a run and win this? Absolutely, but this is just going to help solidify our bid to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and basically we don't have to, right? We're in, but what we're playing for seeding. We'd love to cut down nets, but we're in, and I think that's a big deal. There's going to be a couple of bid students. Okay, there's just going to be a couple of bid students. Jim says I should fire you. I'm like, well, first of all, I don't have the right to fire him. I'm like, why? He said you should fire that dude. I said, which dude? He says, you're a guy who doesn't do a bracket. He probably does a USL bracket.
Hey, but throw something down for charity and I'll fill one out.
Do you do a USL bracket?
I don't even know what that is.
That's the United, the League United place.
Yeah, no, I don't.
You don't do that either?
No.
All right. So there you go, Jim. Yeah, JJ, five I think is the number. There's going to be bid stealers. I looked through this whole thing, and I guess I should look more at RP or net ranking stuff than I am at. But like, I think if someone wins the WAC, I think that's a bid stealer, because I do think, just looking as I continue to look at the computer numbers, I continue to look at it. Grand Canyon is a 46. They're going to be really close. They're 24-2. If someone else steals that bid, do they get in? Are there other opportunities for bid steal? I know we talked to Jerry about this. What if someone else besides McNeese wins the Southland? They're 52. Does somebody get in there? What if UNLV wins the Mountain West? Right?
Yeah.
And that's not totally out of the realm of possibility, is it?
It's not.
So there'll be a few bid steals somewhere in there. All right, 505-246-0610. Sherman, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Sherman. Let me do that again. Hello, Sherman.
Heard you read the text message about the fan that said he's not giving, and it's incongruous to me that you're a fan but you don't support. Define that for me.
I don't know if he's a fan. He's a follower. I think there's a difference between followers and fans. Look, and we get a lot of these correspondence, texts, and emails that people complain about stuff. I think they watch the games. I think they're fans. I don't think they're going to go. If you pick them up in a limo and give them a beer and a foot rub on the way there, and give them a cushion seat and filet mignon while they're there, because it's going to be too hot or too cold or too late or too early or too Saturday. You know that.
Well, this is Lobo Give Day, and I do want to encourage whatever kind of fan you are, take advantage of today. Give to the sport that you like. Support these athletics. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thanks, man. See you. But you know, don't you think? And you guys tell me if I'm wrong. And I don't know if Ron goes to every game or no game. I don't know. But I firmly believe that a lot of the emails we get, the complaining, like they're not going to go. I could pick you up with a smoking hot date if you're single. Put you in a limo, give you a beer or your favorite beverage and a foot rub on the way there, and put you in the best seats in the house and feed you dinner and a police escort and the whole thing. And you're not going to go because it's going to be too hot, or it's going to be too cold, or it's going to be too early, or it's going to be too late, or it's going to be too Saturday, or it's going to be whatever, right? But, I mean, JJ, you tell me if I'm wrong. You've been listening to the same emails for almost as long as I have.
Yeah, the schedule one, man, it's just life. Like, we all have things that we have to do, and it's frustrating when games are late, but, some of these games, too, it's in a different time zone when they're on the West Coast, and so you're going to get late tip-offs. The thing with basketball where I'm not upset about it is they don't change the times. Like, they put out the game times, and there it is. And if you can't do it, I'm sorry, but you can plan basketball season much better than you can football season.
Well, football, yeah, game time's about 12 days out, right? It's harder to make those plans. All right, Red Zone coming up. We're going to do the AFC West coming up at, 9 o'clock? Is that what I told you? Let's do that. When we come back, the Bears say they haven't decided what they're doing. Even though there's all these Justin Fields rumors, they say they'll decide next week where they are with their decision-making when we come back on quarterback. I've told you for years, I've trusted IPS, International Protective Service, to watch my home. And they've given my family, and now my neighbors, a sense of security. They come by every day. I see Officer Crespin on a regular basis. When I'm out of town, I let them know. They come by a few times a day. They check front, back. They make sure everything's okay. They pick up newspapers. They'll pick up packages that are delivered to the porch. They'll pick up mail if you need them to pick it up and give it to you when you get back so somebody else doesn't take that stuff. They do that extra layer of security, and I think you realize property crime is a real deal here, and police numbers, the shortage is a real deal. That's why we went with IPS years ago, and that's why so many retail outlets are going without IPS to protect what their property, their stores. You can call them in as well and see what they can do for you. It is affordable private security both in Albuquerque and Santa Fe. You've invested way too much in your home, in your business, to keep putting up with vandalism and breaking. Call IPS, see what they can do for you. 505-897-2420 is the number. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. Passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you with.
So proud. 10 cities with the worst drivers. We win. Did you know that? Came out February 8th. What's today? 20, so 2 weeks ago.
I am not surprised.
100 out of 100 is Albuquerque, New Mexico. It says Albuquerque is the most dangerous city in America to drive in, with high incidence of fatal car accidents, drunk drivers, and distracted drivers. Damn, dude. Highest number of fatal car accidents involving a distracted driver, 5.42. How do they get these? 5.42 per 100,000 city residents. Rio Ranchos, you're fine up there. You just got to come down.
Hey, I do it every day. It's very scary.
Third highest number for total fatals. Third highest number for people killed in car accidents. City holds the fifth highest spot for number of fatal car accidents involving speeding. Sixth highest number. Wow, dude, be better. How do we be better? Just put down the damn phone and stop drinking.
Slow down. Use your turn signals.
Oh, those are two good things. Yeah.
Very rarely done around here, which is interesting.
Turn signals. Yeah, turn signals are
is it an option on cars down here? That no one takes?
I don't believe they're required. Yeah, to be physically in the vehicle.
I've never seen. I'll be driving here at 5:30 in the morning, and there's someone just flying down 528 or 2nd Street or whatever, and you're just like, whoa. Yeah, it's 5:30. What are you doing?
I know. What are you in a hurry? Where you got to go? I know. Yeah, sorry. Just giving you the facts. Not looking to bring it down. I literally just got this email. I'm like, what on earth? Can we be better? So how about, okay, so slow down, use your turn signals, put down your flipping phone, and stop drinking.
That also, you might familiarize yourself with what a double turn is. Those are very, very common out here.
Double turn.
Yeah. You're supposed to turn into the closest lane, but it seems like that's never done.
Oh, so when you make a left turn, you turn into the left lane. Yeah, people always swing wide.
It is so bizarre. And they'll wait for you to turn when it's their turn to go. I've never seen anything like it.
JJ, you proud? I mean, we're top of the list.
Got some work to do.
Just be better. All right, you want to do Red Zone when we get back? NFL Red Zone, State of the Union, AFC West. I got your calls coming in at 505-246-0610. It is game day. Lobo men and women, big, gigantic games both sides. You go in the game tonight, 8 o'clock in the pit, Lobos and Colorado State. How Lobos beat Colorado State, tell you that later, too. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The sports animal, your home for March Madness.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
What do they call it? Extra Mile Arena? What's it called?
Extra Mile Arena.
Whatever happened to, it's always hard because it's still Taco Bell Arena to me. It used to be, right? Same place, right?
Same place.
Just new sponsor. It's like, is it really Crypto.com Arena or is it Staples Center?
I think everyone still calls it Staples Center.
I mean, it's really hard, isn't it? It's really hard. All right, it's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, and DC. We do NFL stuff. We've been talking a lot about quarterbacks and where's Russell Wilson going to go? Should he go? What should the Steelers do? Going to go red zone today and look at the AFC West.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
Are you crazy? I'm saying you're a football player.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to Tom Brady this game.
You're in the red zone with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
Let's go, baby!
It's first and goal.
All right, and we are going to continue our trip around the league to take a deep dive into the current state of each team. We're going to look at coaches, players, injuries, areas of need, franchise tag situations, and all the significant off-season stories to follow. So let's start off with our Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs.
I think they're golden right now. You know why? Because they got Patrick Mahomes. They got Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Now, they got some things they got to figure out, right? A lot of cap issues. I think that they're going to sign Chris Jones. I just do. I think they're going to find a way to come to terms with their stud defensive lineman. They'll probably franchise tag L'Jarius Sneed. And so that was the best defense that they've had in this run by far. So I think if they do that, they're really good defensively. They've got Patrick Mahomes. I think Rashee Rice came a long way last year in regards to being a number one. Is he a Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams kind of a number one? No. And will he be? No, but you know who is? Travis Kelce. And so he's still there, and he said he's coming back. Look, we're going to have a conversation. I promise you. Next October, they're going to lose 2 in a row. Oh, the Chiefs are sliding, are they? And I'm going to kind of remind you, they still got that guy, and they're still those guys. And it's just like we did this year. To me, they're golden right now.
They need to solidify the offensive and defensive lines. You do that by signing Chris Jones, L'Jarius Sneed. I'm right there with you on the franchise tag for him. Rashee Rice is a really good number 2 receiver. I think they can supplement him with bringing another veteran wide receiver. This team, everyone's going to point to Mike Evans or things like that. They can't do that. Like for what they want to do in terms of keeping that defense, I would address the offensive line again before paying a wide receiver on the outside because of what you said. Patrick Mahomes is going to make the plays that are needed. He became check down Mahomes this year. He was a game manager this season. We know he can be more than that. But it goes to, I think, a veteran number 2 wide receiver to offset Rashee Rice. And because, Travis Kelce is coming back, but the dude is going to start load managing in regular season. Like, Travis Kelce is there for the playoffs, not to play 17 regular season games. So I do think they need to address skill position players because they've missed on the last years. They have not drafted and or graded skill position players well, and that's one thing that they really need to focus on next year is adjusting their scouting department because they've hit on one of those guys so far.
2nd and goal.
All right, how about over in Las Vegas with the 8-9 Raiders?
This is one we've had a lot of conversations about quarterbacks this morning, and I understand it. It's one that you can never you don't want to get content. You don't want to feel like, hey, we're just gonna hold serve, but not everyone's going to solve their quarterback issues this offseason. And we've been screaming at all these teams all morning long, but someone is not going to win. And I do think the Raiders, they're in a situation where Aiden O'Connell is in a strong position to be their starting quarterback. They have the 13th overall pick, right behind the Denver Broncos at 12. But I think that's a team that's just going to focus on building the foundation as opposed to overreaching for a quarterback right now.
I got a weird optimistic feel about the Raiders. And it's around what Antonio Pierce has done. And there's a vibe that the players want to be there. When you have Max Crosby and Devontae Adams saying, I'm leaving if he isn't the coach, that this is our guy. I start to listen to some of the veterans who have performed. Now, am I telling you Super Bowl contender? I'm not. Am I telling you playoff contender? I am. And let's see. If they go with Aiden O'Connell, that means that they see something that you and I don't. And you and I don't see it, because he wasn't great, but he wasn't horrible, and he's not a guy that came in with a big name. Like, who's Aiden O'Connell, a 4th-round pick out of Purdue? Who the hell is he, right? If they sign Josh Jacobs and keep him there, I thought Josh Jacobs was good this year with himself. I thought he was really good. They still have one of the best receivers in the league, and I think they've got a really good base on defense when you build around Max Crosby. I think they are probably the 2nd best team in that division. I know the Chargers are the greatest thing ever, but they're not. And they got Jim Harbaugh, but that's great. They're still the Chargers. To me, there's an optimism around it.
So I'm hearing a lot of rumors about Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Do you guys think he's a Raider next year?
I kind of do. I wouldn't like guarantee to place a bet on it, but I would lean there. Yeah, I do. Where do you think he's going? Jets?
That's one that definitely comes up a lot.
Yep.
With contract, I don't see how they make it work, but they made Aaron Rodgers work, so who knows?
Yep.
JJ, what do you think?
I think Devontae Adams will probably be in Las Vegas next year. I don't see a team right now that would. No, that's a player that's at least one first-round pick to acquire Devontae Adams, and teams, that we look at. And Devontae Adams is a luxury. Devontae Adams is, hey, we're good, and let's go get Devontae Adams because we think that piece is going to make us over the top. And there's a lot of good football teams that have areas that they need to address before spending a first-round pick on a $100 million wide receiver.
3rd and goal.
Well, this should be fun. How about the 8-9 Denver Broncos?
Just feels like purgatory to me. I don't think they're horrible, and I don't think they're good. And I think their quarterback situation is horrible. They've got this financial noose around their neck with Russell Wilson, and Jarrett Stidham. If he was the guy, he'd be the guy by now. I just firmly believe that. He was a 2019 pick, so he's 5 years in, out of Auburn. Would I rather go there than Russell Wilson? I would, but okay. I don't know that they got a great running back situation. They've got decent receivers. Their lines are okay. Their defense is okay. Like, it just screams purgatory to me. I feel like this is a team that's got to make some drastic moves. And again, it stuns me that this is the team with the longest playoff drought in the National Football League.
I think the Denver Broncos won't solve their quarterback situation this offseason. Because, again, someone's going to come out on the wrong side. Someone's not going to get the guy they want. Someone's not going to be able to land the exact freak of quarterback they run. If you're Denver right now, and the moves you made the last few years were to win right now, bringing in Russell Wilson, bringing in Sean Payton. But even with Sean Payton, the Lobos have to take a little – the Broncos have to take a little extended view on this. And that's a reset the foundation because the team is not as good as it was a few years ago when they thought they were a quarterback away. They invested in the offensive line last offseason with a couple of free agents. And I think this is similar to Las Vegas, where you invest in the foundation of that football team to put yourself in contention in a year to be a playoff team.
So you got to eat another year.
4th and goal.
Did I stutter? Beer me.
All right, finally, the Los Angeles Chargers.
Cut dead weight. That's what they're going to have to do this offseason. Got a lot of old guys on big-time contracts, and I love the future of the Chargers. Justin Herbert's that dude. Like, you don't just break these passing records by accident in this league. Justin Herbert's got a little that Burrow thing where you got to stay on the field, though. Like, we love what you can do, but we need to start playing 17 games in NFL regular season. I get it. It's football. It's a rough sport. But with Jim Harbaugh coming in, that dude has won at every single level. And this is the time you start cutting dead weight, start getting the best out of Justin Herbert, and you actually win a playoff game.
All right, I'm intrigued. I am. They're the Chargers, right? They're the LA Chargers. And I'm intrigued. This is to me, the most underachieving franchise. JG, last 5 years? I mean, is there an argument?
A lot of paper titles for them.
Every year, they've got the best roster in the league. They've got, and then they can't stay healthy. I think Keenan Allen's gone. So who's there? I think they got to go get Justin Herbert. Like, Justin Herbert's really good. I agree with you. He's got to win big games. Who are his weapons? I don't believe Austin Eckler's back. I don't believe Keenan Allen's back. So Mike Williams and Josh Palmer are there, and then they go. I think they draft a young receiver somewhere second, third round. I do. I don't know how good I think they are in the defensive backfield, and then I'm intrigued by Harbaugh. So something's got to give. Chargers historically underperform. Harbaugh wins everywhere he is. Which energy oversees the other? Because something's got to give. And so I'm intrigued. You finally got me over the hump to, all right, I'm listening. Where are you on the Chargers?
I think they're in a very tough cap situation. When you have 75 million just for Bosa and Mack, you got to make a decision there. They have like 67 million on their on 2 wide receivers. So I think you're right. One,
right, Keenan Allen's gone.
It's weird. I've been reading that actually it might be Williams, but either way, when you have 140 million wrapped up in 4 dudes, you really have to look at your
with a $154 million cap.
Well, next year it'll be 240, but when
240. That's right.
Yeah. So you have 100 million to spread over the other 48 guys. That's just not sustainable. So it will be interesting to see what they do with some of these cap casualties. Who do they keep on defense? Let me ask you guys: do you think they keep one, both, or neither Bosa and Matt?
I think they're going to do everything they can to keep both of them, and if it's one of them, it's Bosa.
I agree with that. I think the Khalil Mack is probably the guy on the outside looking in, even though age-wise you'd lean Bosa, but Mack's been on the field and been more productive than Bosa has the last year. So I think they restructured with Keenan Allen. I think they keep him around.
Really?
I do think he'll bring his number down.
Keenan Allen just
had 100 catches last year.
I know. See, he's the one that intrigues me when you say, does he go free agency and take a little less money and somehow find – because the Chiefs, to me, are going to find themselves a stud receiver. And I agree with you, JJ. I think Mike Evans is going to be too much money. And you say Keenan Allen should be right in that same category, and I agree with you. But they're going to find a way to get a stud receiver in there that is going to be 1-1A with receiver. I think Rice continues to get better and turns into again, is he Devontae Adams? Is he Jamar Chase? Is he that? He's not, CeeDee Lamb, but he's pretty good. And I don't know. Does Mahomes need that? Did Brady ever need that? He never did he? I mean, he had Randy Moss 1 year, but he never had that guy. He had Gronk, Kelsey, and he had Edelman, and or who's before Edelman? It was Wes Welker, right? They seem to find guys, man. I mean, Valdez-Scantling found a role there. They find guys, man. Richie James, right? Keenan Allen feels like we'll see. It's good stuff, DC. It's good stuff. You can get in 505-246-0610 on anything you heard there and your thoughts. I think the most intriguing one there to me is the Broncos, just because it's purgatory. I just, and JJ, for you to say, you got to eat another year and hope for the playoffs 2 years out, man. I mean, how patient is your fan base?
No one's patient, but not every team is going to solve their quarterback problem this offseason. Like we're sitting here, we're talking about Pittsburgh and Las Vegas and Denver, and Atlanta needs one. And if people are like, well, Daniel Jones can't be a quarterback, and so you're looking at
needs one, and Tennessee, man, maybe they don't.
And Tennessee, Levis. So like a team is going to be on the outside looking in. And while all these teams should address their quarterback position, it's also what are you willing to do? Because I'm not trading from 12 to 3. I'm thinking that that's going to save my franchise if I'm the Denver Broncos.
That's probably right.
Because of what you're going to have to give up.
That leads us right into the next conversation. When we come back, is it a done deal? They say it's not guaranteed. Is he going back to that franchise to continue to be the quarterback there where he's been good for a long time? But is it time to move on? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for March Madness.
Every year in March.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong, and it's...
I mean, they're a thing because it happened with Deshaun Watson, but it's really not a thing outside of that. So from the time Cousins signed in Minnesota, he's had them too. His contracts have been fully guaranteed. Started with a 3-year deal and then multiple short-term extensions. Got it up to a 6-year deal. Breer, the SI reporter, reports that the Vikings touched base with Cousins' camp last week. And if the goal is to work something out, they need to be doing something more than just touching base, right? At 35 years old, coming off a major injury, is Kirk Cousins in a position to demand a fully guaranteed contract?
Oh, in this market, absolutely.
Really?
Minnesota, Denver, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh.
If they don't sign him, they're in a world of hurt, right? They're Nick Mullins, Joshua Dobbs, Jaron Hall. That's who's on their roster. And they probably draft up pretty high. I'll find out.
Minnesota's at 11.
At 11? So they're in that Bo Nix, Michael Penix category. Right?
Yes.
So they've got to figure out. So he does hold all the cards. What's 35-year-old Kirk Cousins worth in this market?
I agree with Minnesota. I wouldn't want to give him a fully guaranteed contract coming off an injury, but I would talk to Kirk Cousins about an incentive-laden deal where, all right, here's your solid base salary and you can earn a whole bunch of money by playing games, throwing for a bunch of yards, and getting the team in the playoffs.
Yeah, and winning. It's a team that was the 2 seed in the NFC a year prior. Last year, they did not make the playoffs. Kirk Cousins was hurt. He's 35. What was it, ACL? What was his injury?
Achilles.
So he's 35 years old coming back from Achilles. I mean, red flag after red flag, right? Now, you're going to tell me 35 is not that old, and I'll listen to you because I think you're at that position, you're right. And I'm watching quarterbacks in their upper 30s and, hell, damn near 40. Well, not even damn near, into their 40s be effective. He's been a good, not great quarterback in the NFL. He's been that franchise quarterback for the last bunch of years. I can't guarantee the whole deal. I agree with you. So what's your base? Is it 30, 35 million base with incentives that can get you up to 55?
Yeah, probably like 40 million base. salary.
All right.
With incentives in it. And this is one, too, Kirk Cousins is actually in really good shape. Like, if you look at him as a quarterback and, coming off that, there's always an uncertainty. And Achilles, I think all of us have a little bit more hesitation with those injuries than we do the other ones, because we've just become so accustomed to seeing guys come back from knee injuries and get back on the field. But, this is, one of those situations we're talking about is just going young to go young with the 11th overall pick better for Minnesota? Or do you feel that if you trust the process, because you've been in communication with Kirk Cousins, he's been rehabbing, I'm sure at least in contact with your doctors and his team, that you feel, all right, coming back, Kirk Cousins off this injury gives us the Vikings the best chance to win and be competitive, and what is now all of a sudden a really intriguing division with what Detroit and Jared Goff have, and everyone fell in love with Jordan Love because of his postseason run.
And who knows what the Bears are going to be. All right, the Bears got to make a decision, too. They say they've not decided. That they will next week. Albert Breer, also of SI.com, same reporter, said the Bears expect to have a plan in place at quarterback by next week. That's where the scouting combine, and when the scouting combine will take place in Indianapolis. He says that the Bears, quote, got inquiries from other teams, end quote, about Justin Fields at the Super Bowl. What could they get for Fields versus what they could get for the first-round pick? I mean, the first-round pick's more valuable than Fields, right? We all agree on that?
Yeah.
And again, I'm hearing a second-round pick is what Fields is going to be. Okay? So they're trading one of them, and it's probably going to be Fields. And I think they want more. If they can get, I don't know, man, if they can get Fields in a play. Like, I look at their roster, and I think they've got a number one receiver. Don't you agree, DJ Moore? Do you think he's the number one?
Yeah, solid.
Can they get, I don't know, who are we looking at? I keep going back to Pittsburgh. Man, if you could get there too, and I mean, what piece would you say? Give me a 2, and I want that piece off your roster.
Like a 2 in George Pickens, because Pickens had some issues with Mike Tomlin and just some attitude stuff, so that could be one that if you're Pittsburgh, you'd move. And if it is a 2 for Fields, man, that's top. That should be top priority for all these teams.
What should?
If you can be like, hey, we get Justin Fields for a 2, and not have to give up a first-round pick, even if it's like a 2 and a 4 or whatever, a 2 and a 5,
and a Pickens,
whatever it may be, that would be the number one route. And then I start, Fields versus Bo Nix, Fields versus Michael Penix, because that's the conversation. It's not Justin Fields versus Drake May.
That's right.
It's not Justin Fields versus Jaden Daniels, because those are top 3 quarterbacks.
Yep. The Bears with DJ Moore and George Pickens, and then a rookie Caleb Williams at quarterback. All of a sudden, you have a different feel about the Bears, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Like, would you say?
What about this? What if it was Justin Fields, DJ Moore, Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Yeah, it's what you think about Justin Fields. Because what you're saying is keep Justin Fields, trade down to, 3?
Yeah.
And get Marvin Harrison Jr., or trade down to 4 and get Marvin Harrison Jr.? Or take Marvin Harrison Jr. with number 1. Yeah, I mean, if you believe in Justin Fields, they just kind of use him differently. This is really where the conversation on Justin Fields is. Is it he's not that good, or is it was he misused?
And I think that Chicago didn't do him any favors in the first years. There's not a lot you look at and say, all right, there's some stability. They invested in offensive pieces around them. They did it last year. They finally went out and made that trade, got DJ Moore because they could flip the first overall pick at that point in time. Carolina, paid that extra price to move up. But this is a situation where I think the decision's made. Like, I don't believe you can pass up the number 1 pick in back-to-back years, especially when it is a quarterback like Caleb Williams, who so many people do like, believe that he's a guy that can be a franchise piece. And you played this game with Justin Fields, and I think it's time to move on.
All right, you can get in on that. 505-246-0610. Here's what else we got when we come back. You're talking about Louisville basketball tonight. both the Lobo men and women. How the Lobos beat Colorado State tonight, because this is a team that beat them in the opener, remember, up in Fort Collins. And JJ will tell you how the ladies can win in Boise. Will you? I mean, can you do that? I think you can. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
Every year.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like and shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
And it doesn't just seem that way. They have been. UNM is the only Mountain West team without at least one school night game before 8 o'clock. And you guys, I hear you. I get it. Some at 8:30, some at 9. These are all because of TV contracts. The road games have been later because they've been on the West Coast. And of UNM's 10 Mountain West home and road games played on school nights or work nights. Only the February 6th game that went on the Mountain West Network was this before 8 o'clock. It was 6:30. All 10 other Mountain West teams had a minimum of 3 weeknight games before 8 o'clock in their local time zone. Not sure why. I am sure why. I do know why this happened. And I know you're upset about it. And I get, look, it's not easy. I'm not. There's no sugarcoating. There isn't. 8:30. Game ends at 11. You're home at midnight. It sucks. I got it. But you're going and you're selling out the pit, and I think it's beautiful. I will tell you why. JJ, you know what we didn't have last year in football? We didn't have, I don't think any of those 8 o'clock, 8:15 starts in November. You know why?
They weren't winning.
They weren't, Lobos weren't attracted to the networks. And so when the networks say, look, we've got these late windows, and who do we want? They wanted UNM. Football, I mean, that's why I called 4 games last year, because the networks didn't. I was grateful. I enjoyed it. George Carter and I enjoyed it. We got to call 4 games on the Mountain West Network. But that's because FS1 and CBS Sportsnet didn't pick up the New Mexico. And when you're attractive and when you're good, the networks want you. And the network windows for the Mountain West, and last night you got a 7 o'clock window in Logan, which was great for them in San Diego State. And then you had the 2 late windows last night. You had the game starting at 9 o'clock in Boise and a game starting at 9 o'clock in, what was the other game? In Reno, right? But that's 8 o'clock local time. But that's literally, when you're good, the networks want to put you on TV. You want to be on TV, it's great exposure. Jeff, who's watching in the Eastern time zone? I don't know. They're on in bars. People are in bars all the time. And what's on late? And it's your games. It's a West Coast games. It's a Western and Mountain time zone. I'm not going to, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Is it easier for you to go to an 8 o'clock game than a 7 o'clock or so? No, I get it. But JJ, those are, but I guess I was unaware until just recently that the Lobos were the only team that did not have a home game in conference play start before 8 o'clock.
It's the old blessing and a curse.
It is.
Because they want to put your games on TV because they know that you have a great atmosphere, you have a competitive team, you have a fun team to watch. And so you get that product out there. It's just, your game's going to start at 8 in that regard at home as opposed to 7. And that hour is a big difference in life. And I get it. But the schedule's out there. There's no use complaining at it now. There's 2 home games left. Like, it is what it is at this point in time. You can send your email to Eddie Nunez, and maybe he can bring it up next year with the television partners. Be like, hey, could you toss us a couple bones for 7 o'clock? But right now, the focus is, it's not about tip times, man. It's, can this team win a game at home? The game's tipping off at 8 tonight. If you can't go, you can't go. Watch it at home.
Give away your tickets to someone who can, right?
Yeah, like, I get it. It's frustrating, but to me, it makes no sense to focus on this when they're playing Colorado State tonight in a must-win game in terms of their NCAA resume, in terms of fighting for positioning in the Mountain West Conference. And this is fascinating because this is a team that, there's still so much up and down, just even within the fan base. And yesterday it happened again. And, Rich Pitino was talking about Jamal Mashburn Jr. and the dude, he said Jamal is just going through a shooting slump. He trusts him. He believes that, he's going to make the right plays. He's working, consistently showing up. And, I just tweeted that quote out there about what Richard Pitino said about Jamal Mashburn. And instantly, boom, people like, well, the dude doesn't play defense. The dude's not being held accountable. Like, there is a lot of pushback on Jamal Mashburn. Where did the hate
for Mash come in? When he stopped scoring, people, it's Louisville fan is crazy, and I guess every fan is crazy, right?
Oh, every fan base.
I say that in I'm not banging on this fan base because I think it's so passionate. What that young man I think has done for this program over the last few years is insane. And I had never heard a bad word necessarily about him. Yeah, a little bit about his defense, and he's small. But when he got into the shooting slump, boy, Lobo fan turned on him, didn't they?
They did, because they feel that he's not good defensively. They feel that he's been given a free pass from Richard Pitino. And, so I'm going to be looking at Jamal Mashburn Jr. tonight and just watching his game, the effort defensively, because I've never felt like the dude doesn't play with effort. Maybe he has some...
He's limited.
Limitations just because he is smaller, but I've never watched that game and be like, wow, that dude doesn't play without effort. I think, if you want to play that game, then we can get real with Donovan Day. Like, if you want to throw Jamal Mashburn out there like that, let's have a conversation about Donovan Mitchell.
When people say he's not held accountable, what does that mean?
That he gets to shoot the basketball and he's playing too many minutes.
He played 22 and a half minutes last game. Right? Isn't that what the number was?
9 shots.
Yeah, he was 1 for 10. He played 23 and a half minutes. House was the guy that people didn't like, remember? And you're 20, what are you, 20 and 6, 20 and 5? Crying out loud. All right, here's how you win tonight. Everybody's going to tell you stop Stevens, and I don't know that you stop Stevens. I think you'd like to control Stevens, and I think it's going to be really, really fun to watch Jalen House and Isaiah Stevens. Jalen House is a terrific defensive guard, and I think him on Stevens tonight, it's going to be emotional. It'll be loud. I think this is a great. I think Jalen's probably been looking forward to this opportunity, right? Stevens is up for Player of the Year in this league. He's an All-American candidate. He's considered one of the best guards in America. And so I love that. JJ, to me, what are you going to do with Cartier? Because I'm going to tell you, I watched the last couple games. When the Lobos lost to San Diego State, it was Ledee who really hurt them. I'm concerned after watching Great Osobor last night when they go to Logan. What are they going to do with Great Osobor? He's a big guy who just was so good in the paint last night against San Diego State. Cartier hurt them up in Fort Collins. To me, the key is slowing him down. I Stevens gets his. That's fine. Don't let Cartier beat him.
Defend the paint.
That's
the team
what I'm
has
saying,
to defend
right?
the post. Yeah, Nelly Jr. Joseph, JT Toppin have to be a difference maker. I think Nelly Jr. Joseph is as important a piece to this puzzle as anyone else. I know JT Toppin, people are screaming, get him more shots, get him more shots. The Lobos are going to do that. He's been taking had like 10 field goals the last 2 games. Maybe he takes 13 or 14 in the offense. But it comes down to those 2 players contesting shots. You don't have to block every shot, but they have to contest shots and rebound. They have to be a presence, because guess what? If at times your guards are going to get driven past on the perimeter, who has to step up? It's Nelly Jr. Joseph and JT Toppin defensively. It starts with the energy and effort on the perimeter. It's those guys playing fast, getting in the hip pockets of the offensive players. But Nelly Jr. Joseph and JT Toppin have to be defensive presence inside.
James says no problem with Hash. I said Hash to make it funny. Jeff, unlike others on this squad, I think win or lose, Hash is a classy guy. Lobo fans are going to miss him when he's gone. He's talking about Jamal Mashburn. I agree. I think he's been a phenomenal Lobo. I think he's been a stand-up class act and hit you big shots. Here's your hot take. You want a hot take? You got JG ready for like super hot take from Jack? He says, but Lobo I'm ready. He says, but Lobo basketball is not good, Jeff. Last year, Lobo basketball finished 6th in your league. It's from Jack. Jack, last year is of this year, first. And they're fighting for position in a really good league. You're entitled to your opinion. I disagree with your opinion. I think Lobo basketball is good. Now, are they great? I don't think they're great. I think they are a good basketball team. I think they are a really good basketball. I mean, I don't know. What do you say to someone like he says they're just not good?
Well, what you said is this isn't last year, and they finished 6th in a 4-bid league, and now they are in a 4-5 bid league once again, flirting with 6th. So that's not a terrible position to be in. And the track record's there. You're getting great crowds. You have a fun team to watch, and television networks like that.
That's why you're on TV every night with Pete Gillen. By the way, new drinking game when you watch the game on CBS Sports. Every time Pete Gillen says, he's a terrific player, Carter. He's a terrific player. You're going to get him. Oh, he's a terrific player. He's up for player in the league, Carter. He's up for player in the league. He's a terrific player. Get the ball, the big guy, Carter. If you drink every time he says, terrific player.
You won't make it to halftime.
You will be comatose. He's a terrific player, Carter. That's the other one. There were a few yesterday. He was one of the best players in the country, Carter. It's a big country. It's a big country.
I like that one.
Yeah, he's been using that a lot. Richard disagrees with JJ on the schedule. Jeff, football's no issue because 99% of the games are Friday and Saturday. There's only one game a week. I think what rubs people the wrong way are those late post-time chilly fall contests when you can play in the afternoon when it's fitty.
Fair.
Not if TV decides you're playing Boise State and they want to put you on at 8:15. And you want that TV. That's fair. I get why that rubs you wrong. And they deal with it in Boise and Reno and Logan and all those places. And it's imperfect, and it is what it is. Richard's in on the ladies. He says Bradbury sends a fresh Lady Lobos tonight, right? He sends early message at Taco Bell to the Broncos. Catch us if you can. The game I'm really worried about is at 72-20. It seems like Lady Lobos do okay in Laradice. JJ, but here you go. It's those contests after leaving Benny D's court where it takes a toll, where they have no legs left coming out of Laramie. Same one I got on it might be the same guy that sent this in regards to the men the other day. Go to Laramie, you're fine, but when you come out of there, you're dead.
Guess we'll find out next week what happens.
Go out early today and handle Boise State?
Handle is not a way you can look at this game.
No? How should I look at it? They don't handle anybody?
Boise State's a game back. They've won 4 of the last 5. And the Lobos aren't blitzing anyone in conference play. And for them, it's a similar kind of recipe what we're just talking about. They start to energy effort defensively, rebound the basketball, and can you move the basketball against a team that was probably going to zone you because the Lobos want to drive and get to the hoop. And I think Boise State's going to try to turn them into jump shooters, and that's going to be the battle.
All right, this one says, and then we'll go to break. It's from James. Jeff, why do the computers love the Aztecs? I'm still seeing San Diego State RPI of 3. RPI of 3? Where are you seeing that? Even after the loss. Who have they played? Their marquee wins at Gonzaga. That's Con-Zaga. And I can't imagine folks are going to be fooled by the Zags again this season. They beat Stanford, who's normally would be a great win, but the Cardinal are awful this year. Is it because San Diego State doesn't have a bunch of bad wins? They didn't fatten up on plus 300 RPI clubs like others in the Mountain West? Only 4 quad 4 wins. By contrast, Little Basketball has 9 in quad 4. They don't have a bad loss, right? You're better at this, explaining the computer rankings and why the computers love San Diego State than I am.
It's not that hard. You don't have to play a bunch of name brand teams to be really good. They played a good strength of schedule in the non-conference. They don't have a bunch of bad losses. They didn't feast on a bunch of cupcakes. Like, it's really not that hard to understand.
Yeah.
It really is.
BYU, the win over St. Mary's is really big on the road at St. Mary's. They lost at BYU, who's up high in all the rankings.
BYU is right now the 11th rated team in
Right.
the net. St. Mary's is 15.
Yeah.
Even
Grand Canyon is 40-something. UC Irvine's in the top 50, I think. Right? Gonzaga, the win on the road there, and then all the conference games. Here's what they did non-conference, and then we'll go to this break. BYU, St. Mary's, Washington, Cal, Grand Canyon, UC Irvine, Stanford, and Gonzaga. Now, yes, they sprinkled in their Cal State, Fullerton, Long Beach State, Point Loma, Nazarene, UC San Diego, which they almost lost that game, and St. Catherine, like everybody else does. But they got enough beef in there that the computers love them. That's why. And
Washington's is 70 in the net right now.
Yeah, it's quad 2. All right, 505-246-0610. Wrap it up. Everything you need to know as you go through your Wednesday game day. It's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports App.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spell, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got...
Hey.
It's nice. How's the weather up
there? It's nice for what we've gotten. I think it's gonna be like 50 degrees today.
You can ask for more. You go over and see Daniela over at the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Tell her, hey, do you know who I am? Get some
time.
Get some French fried potatoes and potato ice cream. They hosted the bowl meetings up there one year, and everything. We had a taste of Boise, dude. I didn't know you could do that many things with potatoes. I mean, fried, mashed. Chopped, chipped. Like the ice cream, it was ice cream, but it looked like a potato. They made it look like a potato.
I'm actually looking at places to eat down there, or up there, I should say.
Yeah.
Everything had something to do with potatoes.
100%.
That is wild.
Have you had some potatoes up there?
I've not had potatoes yet.
What's wrong? When in Rome?
I had chips and salsa last night.
That's fine. Yeah, go out and find a good burrito or a good breakfast with some potatoes. See what they do with them. See if their potatoes are any better than our potatoes. And by the way, does anybody say potatoes? Nobody says tomato, do they? You say tomato, I say tomato. No. Nobody says tomato.
Oh, James does.
Who's James?
That would be on Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah, but that's not real.
You asked for an example.
That's not real.
Oh, it's so real. Dude.
Is it? All right, here's what you got to know as you go through your day. It's game day, Lobo men at the pit over on News Radio KKB. 7:30 pregame, 8 o'clock tip-off against Colorado State. JJ, a lot on the line tonight. You win, you're in third. You lose, you're in seventh. 4 games left before the conference tournament. Top 5 teams get a bye in the conference tournament. You're saying must win tonight, huh?
Yeah, you've lost 2 games at home. If you want those road games to matter and not just equalize out, then you got to win this game at home.
I mean, if they don't win, are we having a conversation about not getting into the tournament?
Absolutely.
I think
yes,
right.
It's where they are. They like you can't just sit here and look. Hey, we won at Nevada, right? That Nevada win only matters if you get to split with Colorado State. If you make up a game back at home, and looking ahead to Boise State and Utah State, where those games could help solidify you as opposed to get you back on the bubble. You lose this game, you're on the wrong side.
What do you think the spread is tonight?
I saw it was like 7.5.
7.5. Lobos by 7.5. I like the Lobos by 6 tonight. Lobos win tonight. I just can't see them.
Right, that's what you're talking about. Is can this team win a close game?
Well, I can't see, and that's another good point. The one game they did win. They won one at Nevada, right? They did win a close game. And where did they go when they needed a bucket? They went to Jamal Mashburn. So they can win a close game. I think they win tonight, and they need to. I just can't see them, this team this good, losing 3 games in a row. It's a big game for Colorado State now too. This isn't one of those where who needs it more, because you know my philosophy on the Mountain West. I tend to lean to when teams are evenly matched in this league. I tend to lean on who needs it more, or if they both need it the same, I go with the home team. That was Colorado State. I'm sorry, that was Utah State, San Diego State last night. Both in the same spot. Who needed it more? They were tied for first. The home team got it last night. Both of these teams are in the same spot. Winners in third, the losers in seventh. They both need it. They're both evenly matched. Lobos are home. I like the Lobos. Who do you like?
I do like the Lobos.
All right. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is in at 4. We're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Thank you to Eddie Nunez for being with us today. Remember, it's Lobo Give Day. You can go over to golobos.com and contribute to Lobo Athletics, and it goes wherever it is you want it to go. DC, great work today. Adrian, great job. It looks wonderful on the visual medium. JJ, have a great call tonight up there, and listen to JJ tonight here on the Sports Animal. Safe travels to you. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.